Alright, I wanted to share with you guys my way of figuring out if a sensitivity is too high or too low, because I see a lot of people that really can't picture where their sensitivity is at. And there's this one trick that is very simple I've been doing since Call of Duty came out and stuff, since I started playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 actually. And I've always done this in like every single first game in a private match that I can. What I do is I usually shoot at a wall to make a hole. And there's already a hole here, so that's where I'll be looking, that hole right there. And what you do is you just ADS at it, and you walk to the left, and you keep your reticle on it as best you can, left and right, all around it. And this is for your ADS sensitivity. Now, on PC, your sensitivity is the same as it is when you hip fire, like this. But on console, it is different if you have it set at that. So what I do is I do it for both. So when you're ADSing like this, you can figure out if it's too high or too low. Like right now, I play on a higher sensitivity. I'm getting used to a higher sensitivity. So over time, this will be easier for me to follow. Just, I don't know what I got caught on there. Over time, it will become easier and easier. But if you're unsure of where your sensitivity is at, this is probably the best way to figure it out. And this goes with your left and right, so your yaw sensitivity, which if you see here, you can see it in advanced look controls, ADS yaw speed and yaw speed, which is how quickly the view turns left or right. And if you're using the basic settings, not the advanced look controls, you're kind of stuck because you get stuck between two numbers, and it's really not useful. There's no slider that's super precise as advanced look controls where you could go like in between. So I highly recommend switching to advanced look controls if you can, if you're on controller. If you're on PC, find a DPI and a mouse sensitivity that works for you. But that's probably the easiest way for the yaw sensitivity to figure out if it is perfect for you or not that good for you. Now that takes care of the left and right view, but how do you do it for the pitch, which is the up and down y-axis sensitivity? Well, for starters, you can practice flicking to two targets, so right there and right there. And you can practice going from the center of one to the center of other in one fluid movement if you can. And if you land around it, it's pretty much good. And it's harder on console sometimes. And same goes for PC. You just gotta figure out what works for you, really. And for when you're not ADSing, and this is mainly for console players, but it can also help for PC players, just running at the ground and going back to a point that you have right there. I usually just look at the ground and I run and I look back up at eye level as to where like it's gonna be like chest level where a person's gonna be, and then their head. So just looking at the ground as if you're like looting a bunch of loot and stuff like this, and then going back up to head or chest level. That is probably the easiest way I can think of it for the y-axis sensitivity. Hip fire, that's one way to do it on console. As for PC, all you have to do is just ADS, look up and down like that for your y-axis sensitivity. And then for your left and right sensitivity, what we did was we just walked like this, looking at a fixed point best we could. ADS and not ADS. It's a controlled feel, and that's what you want. You want a sense of being in control over the controller and the character in the game without having to worry so much when you're actually in fights and stuff if your sensitivity is going to be too high or too low. So hopefully that helped you guys out, and I'd like to thank you all so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, drop a like and a comment down below on your other drills that you would run to figure out if someone has a high or low sensitivity. And I also have a video that is strictly on finding the perfect sensitivity that's right for you and improving your aim overall in Apex Legends. So there's a card on screen right now. I'll put a link in the description as well if you'd like, but definitely check it out. It's mainly console based, but PC players have benefited from it. So please give it a shot, give it a little watch if you'd like, if you have the spare time. But yeah, thanks again for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more awesome videos just like this, because I've been Instant Gamer. I'll see you all next time. Peace.